that will ensure that our country's population does not continue to remain a liability as against being an asset. Our population has remained liability, not because the people themselves want to be liabilities on government, not because the people themselves, in the words of J.F. Kennedy, does not know what to do for the country, but because there have been no population management strategy that guarantees each and every one the opportunity economically and socially to be able to make such contributions to national development.
Still on Thursday's plenary, the conference reports on a bill for an act to provide a framework for the regulation, development and management of a health system and set standards for rendering health services in the Federation, sponsored by Representative Ndodi Elumelu, was adopted. Rising as a matter of urgent public importance, the Deputy House Leader, Leo Ogo, drew the attention of the House to the heavy rain which submerged parts of his constituency. Similarly, Representative Ali Madaki brought to the attention of the House what he described as incessant activities of armed robbers on Abuja-Kano Highway. The House later dissolved into the Committee of the Whole to consider reports by some standing committees, including that of a bill for an act to establish the Nigeria and Diaspora Commission, provide for engagements of Nigerians in diaspora policy, and for other matters. Thursday's plenary ended up with a formal announcement by Atiku Madaki from Niger State of his defection from the All Progressives Congress APC to the People's Democratic Party PDP. That's the much we can bring to you on You and Your Reps for this week. If you have any comments, suggestions or inquiries, do send to us through our email, youandyourreps@ntanews24.tv. My name is Phil Obano. It's bye for now.
The responsibility to the Nigerian people rests squarely on the National Assembly, and in this case, the House. Those in favor, please say aye.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
I thank you, yeah. Thank you, Muhammad, and Mecca, Sade, can never repay you, but from our hearts we like to say that we thank you. Our soldiers, our agents, our airmen, our officers.
Nigeria needs peace and stability. Achieve our goals in unity. We are brothers and sisters, we've lived together for years now. Say no to violence now. Sing it with me. Peace, peace, peace. Let's all embrace peace. We are brothers and sisters, we've lived together for years now. Say no to violence now. No religion preaches violence. We need understanding and tolerance. You can be you, I can be me, that's the way it should be. Say no to violence now, sing it one more time. Peace, peace, peace. Let's all embrace peace. In the family, in schools, at work, everywhere. Say no to violence now.
And thank you for joining us on Nationwide. I am Laure Bala Hassan. About 75,000 Nigerian pilgrims have been airlifted to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the 2014 Hajj exercise. Correspondent Aliu Kabir, who is currently in Medina, has an update.
This is coming against the backdrop of the visit of the 2014 National Amir Hajj and the leader of the federal government delegation, the alongside the chairman of the National Hajj Mission, Muhammad Musa Bello, various accommodations of Nigerian pilgrims in Medina. The National Amir Hajj and the leader of the federal government delegation explained that with about 75,000 Nigerian pilgrims airlifted to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which include.
We apologize for the hitch in that report. Moving on now, a new chairman to oversee the activities of the Akwa Ibom State Traditional Rulers Council has been sworn in by Governor Godswill Akpabio. Correspondent Jenny Bassi tells us more.
New chairman as a shepherd to give direction that will sustain the development of the state in line with the dreams and visions of the forebears. He assured the royal fathers of his commitment to implement policies and programs that will improve the welfare, dignity and honor of the traditional institution. The governor therefore warned traditional rulers in the state to shun injustice, inequity and unbridled ambition in their affairs.
But I'm happy that together we have had a paradigm shift, and even after my departure from office, the principles, the ethos, the values which we consciously enshrine in our state shall outlive all of us. We are happy that we have kept faith with the traditional institution and have together built a solid foundation for the future of our state.
Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Mr. Uwemi Taituk, appreciated the governor for giving the traditional fathers a pride of place in the state, noting that from January till date, the state government has presented 164 traditional rulers with certificates. The chairman, State Council of Chiefs, Edidemedem Silas Akpan, appreciated the governor for finding him worthy to serve and promised to join hands with his government to sustain the development. In Uyo, Jenny Bassi, NTA News.
In continuation of the March to 2015, INEC's Electoral Institute has held the last in its series of lectures aimed at highlighting the African experience. Correspondent Chinedu Obike has details of the event.
In preparation for the 2015 general elections, INEC's Electoral Institute, in collaboration with the African Vision Initiative, has held a series of lectures aimed at stimulating healthy conversations on the African experience. Speaking at the last in the lecture series entitled Constitutional Reforms in Kenya, Lessons for Nigeria, Dr. Ada Okwosa and the Kenyan High Commissioner to Nigeria, Mr. Sambo Molo, say the lectures have cross-cultural lessons for all Africans.
Lessons or what we went through in Kenya are worthy of attention to Nigeria, so they do not repeat the mistakes. They get the best out of what we did, and they use it to implement a better constitution for the people of Nigeria.
Professor Amina Salihu, who presented the guest lecturer's paper, says Nigeria and indeed all African nations have a lot to learn from each other's experience.
What are the commonalities? It is individuals, civil society, faith-based organizations, market women and students and the media saying we need to engage our government more.
The first in the lecture series was held in June this year. Chinedu Obike, NTA News.
We now go over to our Lagos Network Center with Demola standing by to bring us stories making the rounds in that zone. Hello, Demola. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Lore. Good afternoon and welcome to Lagos. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has formally enrolled as a graduate student in the School of Arts and Social Sciences of the National Open University of Nigeria. Ken Egbeluhe reports that he was offered provisional admission at the headquarters of the university in Lagos to study Christian theology.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo returned to the university not as an alumnus, having graduated in 2009, but as a newly admitted student in the postgraduate school to acquire a master's and a doctorate degree in Christian theology. Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Vincent Tenebe, commended former President Obasanjo for his quest for knowledge, adding that his contribution to the development of Nigeria through the Open University is worthy of emulation.
Profound gratitude and thanks to you, Baba, for your interest in the National Open University project, for your passion and sincere commitment to growth and development of Nigeria, Africa, and indeed the whole of humanity.
In his acceptance speech, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo noted that his decision to return to school is a clear demonstration that age and position are not a barrier to the acquisition of knowledge. He noted that the Open University is a good alternative for those who could not gain admission to regular institutions of higher learning in the country.
Any student who has gone through the process of this institution and is under 30 years of age, he should be able to give in service just like others. Even those who went to private universities are allowed to.
Highlight of the occasion was the presentation of admission letter to Chief Obasanjo in Lagos. Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has held that the court's rule on criminal trial is not binding on former Managing Director of Bank PHB, Francis Atuche. Justice Aliyu Seidu of the Federal High Court, Ikoyi, Lagos, gave the ruling today. Viera Chinwoba has more.
The former Managing Director of Bank PHB, Francis Atuche, is standing trial along with Charles Sojo, former defunct Spring Bank Managing Director, on an amended 45-count charge bordering on alleged 125 billion naira fraud. Section 5 of the Federal High Court Practice Direction requires the defense to disclose its case before the commencement of trial. Opposing the provision, Atuche's counsel, Anthony Digbe, SAN, argued that it was irregular for the defendant to be constrained to specify in writing the defense he intends to raise or which aspect of the prosecution case it intends to oppose where no witness has been called. Digbe further argued he therefore urged the court to discountenance the prosecution's insistence on relying on the practice direction, as the power of the Chief Judge is limited by the provisions of Section 4 of the Criminal Procedure Act. EFCC counsel Femi Pinero had argued that the practice direction did not derogate from the provisions of the 1999 Constitution. He said Section 254 empowers the Chief Judge to make rules to guide the court's proceedings. Justice Seidu of the Federal High Court, in his ruling, said Section 5 of the court's practice direction is designed to enhance speedy trial, but not enforceable on Atuche, as it offends Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution by undermining accused persons' rights. The EFCC had rearranged Atuche and Ojo on charges of acquiring Keystone Bank's shares using depositors' funds. They had pleaded not guilty to 45-count charge of conspiracy, reckless granting and approval of loans, and money laundering between September 1, 2006 and 2009. In Lagos, Viera Chinwoba, NTA News.
The Lagos state government has once again assured citizens of the state of quick dispensation of justice as the Lagos judiciary marks its new legal year for 2014-2015. This assurance was given by the state's Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Ade Ikpaye during an interview with NTA.
A new legal year commenced in Lagos September 2014. Last year, the state government introduced the Judiciary Information System and electronic filing. This year, the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Ade Ikpaye, stated that residents should expect a more vibrant judiciary, as this will make cases disposed of in a timely manner, as well as the enthronement of justice and equity to every litigant, irrespective of status or condition.
We are trying to make our judges more efficient, make their working conditions more conducive.
The Solicitor General and Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Ministry of Justice, Mr. Lawal Pedro, and the Director of Citizens Mediation Center, Mrs. Oluwatoyin Odunsoya, said that the state judiciary has put various reforms in place to accelerate easy access to justice.
It's a good one, and it has also something to do with what we are doing today, because mediation has also been integrated into our justice reform in the state.
We believe that mediation will be an integral part of the legal process in the nearest future.
In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
And in a bid to reduce unemployment and poverty in Lagos State, the state government is urging unemployed residents to enroll in any of its various economic empowerment training programs across the state. This call was made by the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Adejoke Orelope Adefulire, when she visited a vocational training center in Lagos.
Since 2007, no fewer than 30,000 Lagos residents have benefited from the Skill Acquisition and Vocational Training Program. The state government has been fighting poverty through regular organization of short-term and long-term skill acquisition programs in different parts of the state to enable people acquire the required skills for self-reliance and empowerment. The Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Adejoke Orelope Adefulire, asserts that the Fashola-led administration is passionate about the skill acquisition and vocational training centers, adding that the administration is bent on tackling the menace of poverty and unemployment in the state.
They can solve for themselves, and that can sustain them, and that's what we aim at.
The skill acquisition centers are designed specifically for unemployed youths, the elderly, and different categories of women, including but not limited to.
This empowerment program has helped me a lot because these days white-collar jobs are difficult to get. But with this training, I think I can help myself out.
We are very grateful to the government and the initiators of this program.
In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
And that does it from Lagos. It's back to you, Laurie, for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Many thanks, Demola. Over 3 billion people in Asia and Africa are said to be at risk of being infected with rabies, a zoonotic disease responsible for the death of thousands of people, particularly children, annually. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture therefore advises Nigerians to ensure that owners of pets, such as dogs and cats, are vaccinated to avoid infection. Musa Baba Aliu has more.
Rabies, a disease that is transmitted from animals such as dogs, cats, and bats, is endemic in over 150 countries, including Nigeria. Children are the most affected, with 4 out of every 10 deaths as a result of rabies. Going by the theme of this year's Rabies Day, which is Together Against Rabies, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture is providing free vaccination of dogs and cats against the disease.
The all-important role of all stakeholders, the veterinarians, medical doctors, environmentalists, the press, and general public to join hands and fight rabies in Nigeria.
Stray dogs must be captured, contained, and their health status is determined. If the animals are such that are dangerous, that's to say they are harbor diseases like rabies, of course they will be killed.
If you know you want to keep a dog, be prepared to be responsible to take care of the dog as much as possible.
The 28th of September every year is set aside to raise awareness on the deadly disease and
And still talking health, with the rising number of mentally ill persons in the nation's prison, the provision of treatment for them is taking center stage. The strategies are being examined at a national conference by the Legal Aid Council of Nigeria, Prisoners Rehabilitation and Welfare Action, and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. Femi Okeowo reports.
Imagine being sent to the prisons for having malaria or diabetes or indeed any other ailment. That looks bizarre, isn't it? But that's what we are told we do to people who suffer mental health. Now a conference in Abuja seeks to redress that. Known as the Conference on Mental Health and Justice in Nigeria, participants are drawn from the nation's justice and health sectors, the prisons, police, and the legislature. The intent is to draw up strategies for effective and humane management of prisoners with mental health challenges.
For instance, you've heard of the lunacy law. It's too archaic. And we hope with the mental health bill, we'll be able to see reforms.
In Nigerian prisons are hundreds of inmates labeled either as civil lunatics or criminal lunatics. Experts say that the proper places for such people are not the prisons, but asylums, where they can also benefit from psychiatric treatment in addition to being kept away for the safety of the society.
Many people who are not in the position to pay for the medical care of their loved ones now find a way of conniving and getting a warrant. That's how we get the issue of civil lunatics. So you find somebody who has a challenge in terms of drug abuse, the family would then work before you know it, gets it, went from the magistrate, and they detain these people as civil lunatics.
This is part of the justice reform sector that we are talking about. And we discover very seriously issue of Lunacy Act. It requires a lot of review and amendment.
Resolutions are to be passed on to the National Assembly for legislation. In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
And now to education. Elder statesman and educationist Chief Edwin Clark has identified the establishment of more universities, which will in turn accommodate the increasing number of admission seekers. This, he says, will not only address the current spate of insecurity, but revive the decaying social norms. Edwin Clark made the assertion while receiving books donated to the proposed Edwin Clark University by the Truth Advocates of Nigeria. Mie Ogidi reports.
Receiving the books on behalf of the institution, the proprietor, Chief Edwin Clark, said the reason behind the establishment of the university is to promote national unity, as it will be a rallying point for people from all parts of the country. As a former commissioner for education in the defunct Midwest state and principal in many schools, Chief Edwin Clark is of the opinion that education is of immense benefit to the individual and the nation.
I'm not 87. How many years and more? But this university will remain forever.
Founder of the Truth Advocate of Nigeria, Dr. Love Arogu, said the donation of the books is a way of rewarding Chief Edwin Clark for his service to God and humanity, as well as contributing to knowledge.
Do not forget that you have sowed a seed that God is trying to pay in this way.
As a group full of intellectuals, we are going to promote your university to the highest tribe.
The Edwin Clark University is expected to be ready for accreditation by the National Universities Commission in next 2 months. In Abuja, Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
The chairman of the governing board of the National Youth Service Corps, Chief Gordon Bozimo, says government is embarking on reforms geared towards improving the condition of corps members. Chief Bozimo stated this at a reception in his honor as a recipient of the award of the Order of the Federal Republic, OFR, in Abuja. Ifeanyi Izumba reports.
Chief Bozimo also expressed gratitude to Almighty God and the President, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, for the unique recognition.
If amongst 160 million people, the country decides to recognize your little efforts, I think it's something to be proud about. And it gives me the belief that once you are working, some person somewhere are noticing what you are doing, and that one day you'll be recognized.
Senior Special Advisor to the Governor of Delta State on Security Matters, Reginald Dombraye, says it is an honor well deserved.
Commend Mr. President. At the same time, he should look behind that. I've done so much, and he's a kingmaker. He has been making king all his life, and he believes in adding value to society.
Chief Bozimo, who pledged to take the NYSC to greater heights, also appealed to Nigerians to support Mr. President, whom he said has achieved a lot over the years in building the nation. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
The National Association of Polytechnic students has appealed to the federal government to speed up the intervention on the dichotomy between higher national diploma and university degree. The student leader made the appeal in Abuja during a visit to the People's Democratic Party National Youth Leader Abdullahi Mai Basira, who promised to convey the message to President Jonathan. Emmanuel Ayemi reports.
The leadership of the National Association of Polytechnic Students, led by their president, Sunday Ogbonaya, commended President Jonathan for identifying with the youth, as 18 of their peers were allowed to participate in the just concluded national conference to present their position. However, the student body won polytechnic students with distinction to be given federal scholarship, just like that of their university counterpart.
Help us convey to Mr. President, he should facilitate that dichotomy between the HND and the PSC to come to an end. For it will also give us more confidence in throwing our weight behind him.
Meanwhile, the national youth leader of the PDP assured all students of the support of the party for educational development.
Of the full opinion that the necessary support should be given to ensure that this capacity meets what we need for our Human Development Index.
The National Association of Polytechnic Students is the umbrella body for polytechnics, monotechnics, and colleges of education. In Abuja, Emmanuel Ayemi, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Time to pause for some messages. The news continues shortly.
Excuse me. What people are looking for in Sokoto, we are having Sokoto. Good luck are what every parent and wish is picking. In school, in business, in life. Everybody are look for good luck. Every country are look for good luck. In World Cup tournament, good luck. Or Louis are come back to life, good luck. The schools are now breaking all over to betterment the future of Almajiris. Good luck. Our universities are properly funded. Good luck. My damn brothers of the north, are you see what I'm saying? Agriculture are now walk over. That 33 modern dams are ready for farmers. Good luck. Fertilizers are purchased for almost free of charge. FOC. I am talking of power supply. That power reform are make steady supply of light every daily. Let us thank Chineke God for our good luck. Kachineke good luck continue for Nigeria.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. Done for One Vision, Nigeria.
Running on the network service of the NTA from the stable of the NTA Educational Television. This quarter, a wide variety of educational programs. Fambus, Tuesdays 5:30 p.m. It is fun-filled and educative for children ages 5 to 11. Walk It Out, Saturdays 9 a.m. Walk It Out is a mathematics quiz program for students of junior secondary schools. Take a Step, Tuesdays 6 p.m. with a repeat broadcast on Sunday at 10 a.m. Take a Step is a general purpose quiz program for students in senior secondary schools. Young Inventors. Join the Young Inventors every Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Young Inventors encourages and celebrates creativity, ingenuity, and originality among children and young adults. It's a bouquet of active participation, learning, and being educated in an interesting way. NTA Educational Television, dedicated to promoting learning.
Transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Shopee has ensured the reconstruction of the Abuja-Lokoja Road and the East-West Road in Port Harcourt.
The standard gauge rail tracks from Abuja to Kaduna and Lagos to Kano indicate that our trains are coming back.
The second Niger Bridge in the southeast and the Loko Oweto Bridge in the north-central are in progress, thanks to Shopee.
Shopee's mass transit program has made transportation easier for Nigerians.
Shopee has rehabilitated over 1,000 health centers across Nigeria.
Shopee has provided mama kits to pregnant women, and polio is on the verge of eradication.
Shopee has also ensured the provision of social amenities and through its various training programs for young people guarantees a better future.
Shopee, delivering service with integrity.
Welcome back. We earlier told you that about 75,000 Nigerian pilgrims have been airlifted to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the 2014 Hajj exercise. Correspondent Aliu Kabir, who is currently in Medina, has an update.
The visit of the 2014 National Amiral Hajj and the leader of the federal government delegation, alongside the chairman of the National Hajj Commission, Muhammad Musa Bello, to various accommodations of Nigerian pilgrims in Medina. The National Amiral Hajj and the leader of the federal government delegation explained that with about 75,000 Nigerian pilgrims airlifted to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which include domestic, international and officials, out of the 76,000 slots officially allocated to Nigeria, the operation has been successful. He, however, expressed optimism that the remaining intending pilgrims, numbering to 1,000, will be airlifted, as the 2-day extension has been granted to Nigeria.
The authorities are in touch with the Saudi authorities, at least essential one they will give them. By the grace of God, everybody will be elected to worry yourself.
About 70% of the Nigerian pilgrims who are currently in Medina are expected to move to Mecca alongside other pilgrims from across the globe for the exercise before Thursday, the 2nd of November 2014, which is equivalent to 8th of Dhul Hijjah 1435 Islamic calendar. From Madinatul Munawwara in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
By all indications, the December target for the completion of railway project on the Port Harcourt-Maiduguri corridor is feasible, as all major aspects of the rehabilitation work has been completed. Transport Minister Idris Umar, on tour of some of the project sites in the corridor, assured Nigerians that, like the Lagos-Kano axis, operations will commence on the Port Harcourt-Gombe route by December. Zainab Banu reports.
The tour took the minister and his entourage to Gombe, down to Bajoga, Buniadi, Alkaleri, Ankwi, and Bauchi, as well as Haipang in Plateau State. But for ballasting on some portion of the project, all the tracks have been laid, so also the construction and reconstruction of collapsed bridges and culverts from previous floods. Impressed by the level of work, the minister expressed optimism that the corridor will soon become operational.
You can see the locomotive pulling about 6 wagons carrying the ballast all the way from Bununi in Bauchi State, Haipan here in Plateau State, clearly showing you that the rail track is ready for utilization.
Managing Director, Nigerian Railway Corporation, says although it has on ground all the needed locomotives for the successful takeoff of the corridor, more are expected to arrive in the next 2 months to avoid any lapses.
The next month again, we're taking delivery of another 6 air-conditioned coaches. We have more locomotives coming. We've ordered trains for the standard gauge for Kaduna to Abuja. In November, we're receiving 16 inspection and maintenance vehicles.
The rehabilitation work currently stops in Gombe State due to the security challenges in some parts of Borno State. Zainab Banu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, has been commended for providing equal freedom and access to information dissemination and campaign to all political parties in Nigeria. A statement by the General Secretary of the Radio, Television and Theatre Workers Union of Nigeria, RETAU, Comrade Henry Odugala, says the balanced access provided by the NTA has enhanced a hitch-free political dispensation in the country in recent times. The union expressed optimism that the NTA, under the leadership of Mr. Shola Omole, is displaying professional excellence in information dissemination in all its ramifications for national unity. RETAU encourages NTA to keep the stead beyond the current political dispensation to guarantee full transformation. Jigawa State government trains more than 5,000 people on Ebola preventive measures. Amin Yahaya is standing by in our Kaduna Network Center with details of this and more. Hello, Amin.
Has so far trained more than 5,000 teachers of public and private schools on Ebola preventive measures. This followed federal government's directive on precautionary measures before resumption of schools. Correspondent Awal Salu reports.
The training targeted 2 teachers each from primary and secondary school, both public and private schools, with the aim of enlightening them on the symptoms and preventive measures of contracting the disease. In addition to this, a desk office has been opened to coordinate and provide routine information to the ministry. Also, a monitoring team has been set up by the ministry to provide relevant feedback apart from the non-contact thermometers procured for distribution to schools across the state. Permanent Secretary, Jigawa State Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Alhaji Abdullahi Hudu, said although the state is ready for school resumption, they shifted the date to October 13th to enable the students celebrate Eid al-Kabir with their parents.
The government decided that children should celebrate the Salah at home with their parents and return to school afterwards.
Chairman, Association of Nigerian Conference of Principals of Senior Secondary Schools, Jigawa State Chapter, Malam Hussein Abdullahi, said the decision taken by the state government to shift the resumption date was a welcome development, as it will enable the students to concentrate more on their studies.
Parents initially were relaxed when the federal government announced 13th of October. So even those who made adequate preparations toward the opening of these schools against 13th, and then just suddenly, just of a sudden, it drew the date backward. So the parents relaxed, as such, therefore they may not be able to turn these students on that speculated date, that is 22nd.
A school proprietor in Duse, Mr. Bolaji Akuribido, said they are fully ready to resume on the 13th of next month.
We've gotten most of the things required, you understand, to tackle this Ebola. Although it is said that it's been eradicated from from Nigeria, which is a good thing.
Students in Jigawa State have been at home since July this year. From Duse, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
The Governing Council of Kaduna Polytechnic has offered free tuition fees for 130 students of entrepreneurship of the institution as a reward for their victory in this year's Enactus National Competition in Lagos. Correspondent Indiang and Diabagyang completes this report.
Entrepreneurship in Action, and also known as Enactus, is a team of students in free enterprise who mobilize students in their community to develop entrepreneurial skills for sustainable development. In Kaduna Polytechnic, the Enactus students have, through various projects, impacted over 300 lives since 2003. Enactus has severally represented Nigeria in competitions internationally, winning laurels. The Sahara Light Up Nigeria Challenge project earned Enactus the first position and second in the Enactus national competition, beating 40 other institutions in the country. The Chairman Governing Board, Chief Sergeant Awuse, and the Rector Kaduna Polytechnic, Dr. Mohammed Bello Ibrahim, say the activities of the team has placed Kadpoli on a high pedestal.
We are asking all the neighboring states here that do have the benefit of the experiment that are going on here, invest a little bit on this project.
We would like to invite the private investors to come in to key into the inventions and creativity of our students.
The team advisor, John Aliu, and representatives of the students say they are committed to make a difference.
You can see like the Grace project. All we need is to commercialize it. If you commercialize it, you generate a lot of money.
We have a group of youths and young students who want to create an impact in their society.
In Kaduna, I am Indanyan and Diabagyang, NTA News.
And that does it. Back to Lore for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Amin. More youth organizations are partnering to take Good Luck Sambo support for re-election campaign to rural communities across the Federation. This time around, the Youth Empowerment and Sustenance Initiative, Yes Good Luck, and the Elite Advancement Peace Initiative, EAPI, say they are showcasing the achievements of President Jonathan in those communities. Correspondent Edino Justice reports.
Good Work project is aimed at educating citizens on the need to be conscious of quality leadership by showcasing the achievement of President Jonathan's transformation agenda. The national team leader of Next Generation Nigeria, a non-governmental organization designed to build a network of emerging leaders across the country, said the project will help in informing Nigerians on federal government projects in their locality.
We've been assessed, Mr. President, worthy of he has performed tremendously well from 2011 to date. We found it worthy that there is need for us to document pictorial activities of Mr. President, which will be distributed to the electorate to see what Mr. President has done.
This particular government, in my own opinion, has done well because leadership is not easy.
The Good Luck Good Work project is a magazine with a selected project of Mr. President in various sectors, which is expected to be launched in the next 3 months. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
We apologize for the mix-up. In the spirit of promoting good governance in the country, Nigerians have been urged to ensure that they participate fully in the upcoming elections. National team leader of Next Generation Nigeria, Ugochukwu Williams, made the appeal at the inauguration of the 36 states coordinators of the Good Luck Good Work project in Abuja. Correspondent Aliu Tukur reports. Moving on now, the Igbo leadership has stressed the need for its sons and daughters in Nigeria and in the diaspora to unite and be their brother's keeper. The call was made by the Ohaneze Ndi Igbo Abuja chapter to mark the 2014 Igbo Day celebration. Chazalam Ekie has details.
It was a time of joy and felicitation in the FCT as Igbos in their thousands converged on the old parade ground for the annual event. Elders at the occasion used the forum to advise Igbos to unite and speak with one voice on national issues, as well as keep the dreams of the founding fathers alive.
Politics is at hand. With Igbo, we're now discussing how are we going to cope up in Nigerian politics.
Contribute to the economic and social development of wherever we find ourselves, but we do not forget where we come from.
Extolling the contributions of the Igbos in the development of Nigeria, former Anambra State Governor Chukwuemeka Ezefe in his message went down memory lane to recall the history of Ndigbo in the Nigerian project.
This idea is to tell the Nigerian people we want to be friends with them. Every group of Nigerians, Hausa, Fulani, Igbo wants to be friends. Yoruba, Igbo want to be friends with you.
The event afforded the younger ones the opportunities to learn more about their culture.
As children, we are still learning, and when we get close to the older ones, we get to know things that we don't know before.
A day to bring Igbos together and speak to them, to have common objectives, unity of purpose.
I've been able to gather the Igbos in the Federal Capital Territory to all come out here and speak to us in one voice.
The aim of the Ohaneze Ndigbo is to foster unity at home and in the diaspora through cultural awareness. In Abuja, Chiazalam Ekie, NTA News.
More youth organizations are partnering to take Good Luck Sambo support for re-election campaign to rural communities across the Federation. This time around, the Youth Empowerment and Sustenance Initiative, Yes Good Luck, and the Elite Advancement Peace Initiative, EAPI, say they are showcasing the achievements of President Goodluck Jonathan in those communities. Correspondent Edino Justice reports.
Commending the youth group for their cooperation, the coordinator, Yes Good Luck Initiative, Atai Albert Akpan, said, as a voluntary organization, they are convinced about the achievement of President Goodluck Jonathan in his first term, and if given second term, will do more.
With the value created to the basic almageries in the up north. But when it borders on aviation, you can see our airports are now looking like what the airport should look like. Our road networks are what driving today. And we believe in the use of the rural people to talk to their people.
That we synergize with you for the 2015 Jonathan Goodluck presidential aspiration.
The Commandant General of the Elite Advancement Peace Initiative, Ogundara Michael, while collaborating with the Yes Stand, noted that part of their mandate is to mobilize youth and communities before, during, and after election.
We are to create training avenue for youth to develop their potential in life, which is part of what Yes Good Luck Initiative has brought to us there now.
The highlight of the ceremony was the presentation of the national color to the Yes Good Luck coordinator to inaugurate the partnership. From Aleta, Abuja, Edina Justice, NTA News.
We now go over to our Enugu Network Center for more reports from that zone.
Good afternoon and welcome to Enugu. Officers and men of the Nigerian Navy have been warned against the use of illicit and banned drugs. The Flag Officer Commanding Naval Training Command, Rear Admiral Amba Anyampele, gave the warning during his second biennial inspection of facilities at the Nigerian Navy Finance and Logistics College, Owerenta, in Abia State. Chinyere Okoli tells us more.
Facilities inspected by the Flag Officer Commanding include the College E-Library, Training Officers Class, Language Laboratory, classroom blocks, as well as the student and staff accommodation. He commended the new commandant for her milestone achievements. Addressing the officers and ratings of the institution, the FOC advised them against illicit drugs.
A lot of our personnel are grown mental. A lot of us are carrying weapons, threatening to do harm to our fellow personnel. So if we don't fish you out, you will be a problem to me, to yourself.
The Commandant, Nigerian Navy Finance and Logistics College, explained the challenges confronting the institution. She applauded the efforts of the new naval chief, Vice Admiral Usman Jibrin in facilitating the accreditation of all the courses by the National Board for Technical Education.
The CNS have been very good to us. They send us a lot of money for the projects and the FOC for the projects we are doing.
The FOC inspected a guard of honor from the Nigerian Navy Finance and Logistics College in Owerri, Tabia State. Chinyere Okoli, NTA News.
Saka is on the way for residents of the commercial city of Onitsha, Anambra State, as the Greater Onitsha Water Scheme is on the verge of completion. This will solve the age-long water shortage in the commercial hub of the southeast. Dora Enwe has details.
Lack of pipe-borne water in Onitsha metropolis has been a source of worry for residents, which has about 2 million inhabitants and records daily influx of people. The Nkisi Water Works in Onitsha, which was initiated by former President Shehu Shagari in the early 80s and later handed over to Anambra State government, stopped functioning about 12 years ago. The state government in the past has made several efforts to resuscitate the scheme through partnership until August 2013, when Mr. P2B administration awarded rehabilitation of the Greater Onitsha Water Scheme with a contract value of 1.8 billion naira. The project, according to the project manager, is now at the completion stage.
When we start pumping water, we realized valves was missing. We are in the position of repairing them. We already found 2 major leaks, which was repaired, and we're on to our 3rd one now, which will be repaired tomorrow. And if that's complete, then we can pump water to Nkisi.
Mr. Pretoris attributed the delay in realization of the project to rainy season in Onitsha. Dora Enwe, NTA News.
The chairman of the People's Democratic Party Southeast Zonal Integration Committee, Senator Ahmed Ali, says the adoption of President Goodluck Jonathan as the sole candidate of the PDP will not in any way interfere with the democratic process in the party. He stated this while addressing members of the party at the PDP Secretariat in Abakaliki. Chinaza John completes the report.
Senator Ali, who was in the state with other members of the Zonal Integration Committee, said despite the party's endorsement of President Goodluck Jonathan as its presidential candidate, the party will still provide a level playing ground for all members who wish to contest.
That does not abridge democracy. We will still allow people to put in their papers for the presidential race, but the party as an organization has an official candidate. That's all it means.
Senator Ahmad Ali, who noted that their mission in the state is to ensure that there is total peace and harmony within the party, commended the developmental strides of the state government. The state governor, Chief Martin Elechi, while assuring the committee of unity within the party members, highlighted some of his achievements, noting that party faithful who left the party have returned.
I will insist that for you to be a good member of the PDP, you must first and foremost be a good citizen.
The committee, which had earlier paid a courtesy call on the governor, were conducted through some projects being undertaken by his administration. The committee is among the 6 integration committees touring different zones in the country to harmonize differences in the party. In Abakaliki, Chinasa John, NTA News.
That's it from Enugu. Over now to you, Laurie, for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Ngozi. The additional 30,000 polling units and the escalation of third-party campaign against the 90-day window as provided in the Electoral Act are the major concern as the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Tahiru Jega, meets with chairmen of political parties in Abuja. Correspondent Gabriel Odu reports.
Addressing the national chairman of political parties and Inter-Party Advisory Council, Professor Jega says political parties and their candidates must adhere strictly to the provisions of the Constitution and the Electoral Act 2010 as amended.
We must continue to work together assiduously to make our elections free, fair, and credible, and to deepen democracy in our country, Nigeria.
Moving forward, IPA call on INEC to engage with political parties to prepare the ground for legal campaigns. In this regard, equal access to the media by all contesting political parties is of vital importance.
Some chairmen of political parties believe that INEC has a lot to do with regards to the additional 30,000 polling units.
We're discussing the draft guidelines for political campaigns and rallies, which will be approved by the Commission, and all political parties will be properly guided.
Since the creation of the current polling units, but we did something in Anambra, we did something in Ekiti, we did something in Osun, we are going to do something in Adamawa. What is the thing that was done? We created temporary voting points to accommodate the pressure. That is what INEC should do, and forget about these 30,000 polling units.
From the INEC headquarters in Abuja, Gabriel Odu, NTA News.
Transitional Arrangement Directorate has organized a workshop for pensioners and stakeholders under the Defined Benefit Scheme, aimed at creating awareness about improved services for pensioners. Correspondent Ibrahim Bellogunda reports that the event, which took place in Kaduna, attracted pensioners and stakeholders from the northwest zone of Nigeria.
Transitional Arrangement Directorate was established in August 2013 and amended Section 42, Subsection 1 of 2014 Pension Act to manage pension under the Defined Benefit of Pensioners not transiting to Contributory Pension Scheme. Director General of Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, Nelly Meshak, said a lot of reforms were carried out by consolidating the 3 pension offices, improved monthly pension payment from the Accountant General Office with zero tolerance for corruption and a robust resolution mechanism, among others.
Getting a grasp of the database of pensioners. We don't know how many pensioners there are, and that is because previously they were scattered all over the place.
She noted that despite these challenges, the Directorate corrected the misperception by pensioners and maintained a comprehensive database of pensioners under their respective jurisdictions. Some pensioners interviewed said they are happy with the new scheme, but hope things will get better. Ibrahim Bellogunda, NTA News.
We apologize for the poor audio in that report. And moving on now, the World Health Organization has hosted the Nigerian Association of Pharmaceutical Manufacturers in Denmark with the objective of promoting pharmaceutical science in the best interest of public health. Correspondent Hawaii Sufuntua reports that the Director General of NAFDAC, Dr. Paul Ohi, led the association for the collaborative meeting.
Pharmaceutical manufacturers in Copenhagen seeks to encourage professional development through networking, mentoring, education, and scientific exchange. The annual forum is primarily aimed at fostering integration of those sciences related to the discovery, design, analysis, development, production, quality control, safety, clinical evaluation, regulation, as well as the distribution and utilization of drugs.
We are coming to good solutions as regards that sustainability of GMP.
The Director General of the National Agency for Drug Administration and Food Control described the meeting as a high level of collaboration between the World Health Organization and NAFDAC.
This is a huge contribution, and this will significantly increase access to good quality medicines. Of course, very soon, affordability issues will also be resolved. Not just for Nigeria, but for the sub-Saharan Africa as a whole. NAFDAC is committed to this partnership. We will do our own part to make sure that these companies that have achieved this level of GMP are constantly maintained at that level.
The NAFDAC Inspectorate will continue monitoring these sites and sharing with us the reports formally, and that will be officially put in a procedure that will be elaborated through Mir and Smith.
As all necessary steps guaranteeing the success of joint verification are fulfilled, manufacturers, inspectors, and regulators emphasize on the sustainability of health system. Hawaii Sufuntua, NTA News.
In our sports package, Amaju Pinnick emerges as new NFF president. Sports Minister harps on grassroots sports. Plus, Rafael Nadal rediscovers form in China. Let's join Fisayo Ogunfui for these and more.
Chairman Delta State Sports Commission Amaju Pinnick has emerged as the new president of the
Nigerian Football Federation. Amaju polled 32 votes in the second round of voting, which was more than the two-third majority needed to win. Dominic Ayofa of Benue State had 8 votes, while Taiwo Ogunjobi representing Osun State had 4 votes. Other contestants for the NFF's top job were Amanzu Chegbulam of Imo State, who polled 4 votes in the first round, Michael May of Anambra State, and Abayola of Kano State with no votes at all. The 7th contestant, Shehu Diko, dropped out of the race before the elections. Minister and Chairman National Sports Commission Tammy Danagogo says the nation is now focusing on the development of the next generation of stars to take over from today's champions in different sports. Danagogo made this known when the High Commissioner of Tanzania in Nigeria, Daniel Unjule, paid him a courtesy visit to discuss potential areas of sporting collaboration.
To focus on grassroots sports development, that is to harness or harvest our talents from the nooks and crannies of the country, particularly at a very young age.
Spanish world number 2 Rafael Nadal, playing in his first singles match in 3 months after a wrist injury, extended his record to 13-0 against Frenchman Gasquet with a brisk 6-4, 6-0 win after world number 1 Novak Djokovic had beaten Spain's Guillermo Garcia Lopez 6-2, 6-1. An early break from Nadal in the third game put him on course for the first set, but only after the left-handed served a breakpoint with an ace when trying to serve it out. Nadal's last match before Beijing was the last 16 defeat to Australian Nick Kyrgios at Wembley. With Sports News Update, Fisayo Ogunfui, NTA News.
And just before we go, remember, it is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of State Security. And that's our package on Nationwide for today. Do join us at 7 and 9 for more reports. Good evening.
Nigeria, our most prized heritage, has become a better country courtesy of the transformation agenda of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. With massive investment in power supply infrastructure, affordable and effective healthcare delivery, a refocused education system, and good motorable roads. The railway system has been restored and modernized, and more airports have been remodeled and rehabilitated than at any other time in Nigeria's history. Our farmers are happier, and cash crops exports are growing. No wonder, today we are Africa's biggest economy.
Mr. President, keep up the good work. This message is brought to you by Community Awareness and Development Network, Kawan.
Exotic Land Rainbow.